Previously on Bridges of Belief, Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold as a slave and thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit. Yet through it all, his faith never cracked. In both the Bible and Qur'an, this guy stayed solid, hopeful, patient, and incredibly wise. And when Egypt was about to face a crisis no one saw coming, destiny finally knocked on Joseph's prison door. So one night, Pharaoh, the big man, the ruler of all Egypt, has these back-to-back, seriously strange dreams. First, he sees 7 fat, healthy cows emerging from the Nile River, just chilling in the reeds. Then, out of nowhere, 7 scrawny, starving cows crawl out and completely devour the healthy ones. Boom! Dream ends. He wakes up in a cold sweat thinking, what on earth was that? But then he falls asleep again. Round 2, he sees 7 plump heads of grain growing on a single stalk, lush, golden, absolutely perfect. And just like before, 7 dried-up, wind-blasted heads of grain appear and swallow them whole. Pharaoh wakes up again, legitimately shaken. This is the man who rules an entire empire, but he can't make sense of what's happening in his own mind. The next morning, Pharaoh calls in every wise guy in town, the priests, the magicians, the dream interpreters, the astrologers, the full squad. He lays it all out and says, "All right, guys, hit me. What does this mean?" But they just stare at him like he's speaking another language. Nobody has a clue. You could feel the tension in the room as Pharaoh paces, his hands clenched, muttering, "How can no one in this entire kingdom tell me what my own dream means?" Then, from the back of the room, a quiet voice pipes up. "Wait, I remember someone. Remember that guy Joseph helped back in prison? The royal cupbearer? Yeah." He suddenly has this major light bulb moment. He steps forward and says, "Oh shoot, Pharaoh, my apologies. There's this dude I met in prison, a Hebrew guy who can interpret dreams. He told me mine, and every single thing he said came true." Pharaoh's eyes light up. He's like, "Say less. Go get him, now." So they rush to the prison, get Joseph, clean him up, a shave, new robes, the whole royal makeover. He steps into Pharaoh's throne room not with fear, but like a man walking straight into his destiny. Pharaoh leans forward from his throne and says, "I hear you can interpret dreams." Now Joseph doesn't flex or brag. He simply replies, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh the answer he needs." That humility, that's what sets him apart in both the Bible and the Qur'an. He doesn't claim any power for himself, he channels it from a higher source. Joseph listens carefully as Pharaoh recounts both dreams. When Pharaoh finishes, Joseph doesn't hesitate. He drops the truth bomb. "Pharaoh, both of your dreams mean the same thing. God is showing you what is about to happen. Egypt is going to have 7 years of incredible abundance, crops everywhere, overflowing silos, followed by 7 brutal years of famine that will wipe out everything if you don't plan ahead." But Joseph doesn't stop there. He goes full strategist, laying out a plan. You need to appoint someone wise and discerning to gather a portion of the food during the good years, store it up, and then ration it when things get rough. Pharaoh's jaw just drops. His advisors are whispering in awe. Nobody has ever spoken to him with such clarity, confidence, and absolutely no ego, just pure, unadulterated truth. Pharaoh leans back on his throne, staring at Joseph for a long, silent moment. Then he turns to his officials and asks, "Can we find anyone like this man? One in whom is the Spirit of God?" Before anyone can answer, he turns back to Joseph. Next thing you know, bam! Joseph is promoted from a forgotten prisoner to the second in command over all of Egypt. The man literally goes from 0 to Pharaoh's right-hand man in a single conversation. That's what you call a divine promotion. No resume needed. Pharaoh places his own signet ring on Joseph's finger, drapes him in fine linen robes, and puts a gold chain around his neck. Fast forward a bit. Joseph is now running Egypt like a seasoned pro. During the 7 good years, he oversees the storage of grain in massive silos, enough to feed not just Egypt, but the surrounding nations. Then, just as he predicted, the famine hits hard. The world grows desperate. And the very same people who once sold him out would soon show up at his door, begging for food. But that's a story for the next episode. Right now, we are witnessing Joseph at the height of his purpose, calm, centered, and walking in favor. In the Bible, he becomes the governor of all Egypt. In the Qur'an, he's explicitly given authority, wisdom, and honor, both texts showing that patience truly pays off. They may use different words, but the message is the same. When you trust the process, even a prison cell can become your path to a palace. Just think about it for a second. The same young man who was dumped in a pit by his own brothers now effectively runs the most powerful nation on earth. If that's not a plot twist for the ages, I don't know what is. The Bible and the Quran both show us that your current situation doesn't define your story. Your response to it does. Joseph never let his pain make him bitter. He let it make him better. So if you feel like you're stuck in a pit or a prison right now, remember the story of Joseph. Your Pharaoh moment, your breakthrough, might be waiting just on the other side of your patience. This was episode 4 of Bridges of Belief, the story of Yusuf. Next time, things get intensely emotional when Joseph's brothers show up in Egypt, completely unaware that the powerful man they're begging for food from is the same brother they betrayed all those years ago. You won't want to miss it. The reunion is going to shake hearts. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.